And welcome, everybody. A big hand for Gerdan. We'll, of course, get to them momentarily. Welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. I'm your host today, David Roth, and my tech guru genius is Jaden. Want to thank her, and I think Joe Rassi is out there somewhere watching. But we want to give her as much time off as possible. I'm coming to you from Los Angeles today, so I had to set my alarm clock. Again, I don't get up this early for just anybody, but I wouldn't miss this, and I really need this. I don't know about you. So let me welcome you one by one as I can. Of course, Jaden is there. We say hi to Joe. And Gerdan, beautiful to have you back today. So excited. Aloysius, welcome. Coming to us from outer space. And Arlene Baxter, we've got some unfinished business, young lady, you and I. Annette, nice to see you again. Hi, Jenny in Suffolk. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And Pauline in Newcastle, a lot of UK right next to each other there. I'm coming to Scotland in October for the first time. Deborah in Kentucky. How nice to see you, Deborah, dancing away. Susan G., welcome back. It's like seeing the beautiful family of old friends every day. Sleepy Kevin in DC. Well, I don't know. You got 3 more hours sleep than I did, my friend. Trish and Victoria. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Trish. Curly Tops, as always, holding down the fort there. I had hair like that once, too. Day number 829 coming to us from Boise, Idaho. And Carolyn, thank you for being our timekeeper, Carolyn. And hi, Gary. Nice to see you again. And Charlottesville is represented by Kate. Welcome, Kate. And in New Hampshire, my New England, there's Sherry. Hi, Sherry. And Kathleen in Albuquerque. Nice to see you, Kathleen. New Mexico, a good place and a friendly place to come to. Mabel and Bob might be out there somewhere in my home state of Massachusetts. And the bear, Sheila in Florida. Hi, Sheila. How are you? Dan in Vienna, Virginia. Welcome again. And again, Boise represented Boise, Idaho with Bonnie Schuster. Hello, Bonnie. Ruth in Birmingham, United Kingdom. Nice to see you. Hoda in British Columbia. Ooh, a lot of passports here today. Ralph in Victoria. I prove my point. Back to Michigan with Amanda and Miles. Nice to see you. Welcome. Caroline in DC. District of Columbia, Luda in Victoria, BC, DC to BC. Hello, Anna, zooming in on all her spare time, just a backup in case we need her wonderful skills. And there's Deli. Nice to see you again, Deli. And in Texas, we have Jane. Nice to see you, Jane. Susan in my former hometown of Seattle. Hi, Susan. And Linda in Massachusetts. Stepped off screen there for a minute, but that's a very lovely room. Kitchen cabinets. Kevin Ennis. Good to see you, Kevin. We made a song for you one time. And off screen are Bronwyn and Victoria, LMG, Bob, the other half of Mabel in Massachusetts. His bear's in there somewhere. Gwyn, Lisa in Vancouver, Fred, and Anne. Welcome all. It's wonderful to have you here today. But almost as wonderful as having our musical guests from Ukraine. We welcome back Gerdan. And as a matter of fact, the last time I believe they were on the Daily Antidote song, I was hosting as well. And today I wear my pendant that was made in the Ukraine and sent to me a week before the Russians invaded. So lots to talk about and lots of music to get to. Beautiful Grammy award-winning music too, I might add, and we'll talk about that too. So let's welcome Gerdan, Solomia, and Andrei. Welcome back. Wonderful to have you.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy, beautiful summer day. It's right in the middle of summer. Can you believe it? The time is flying, especially for us. So we are so thrilled to be here, and thank you for inviting us again. And today we have a very special song for you. It's a song that became folk song, but this is actually one of the most famous songs in Ukraine and all over the world for Ukrainians. Its song was written by Volodymyr Ivasyuk. It's called Chervona Ruta, or if you translate is red flower. Ruta is a flower, but it was a magic flower. Last week we celebrated a big holiday that in Ukraine it's called Ivana Kupala. It's basically solstice celebration, but with the calendar that we follow. So it goes from July 6th to July 7th. And there is a legend during that night from 6 to 7. It's basically the solstice night. This flower is blossoming. It's the only one night. And that person who will find that flower get all the beauty of the world, and will everyone, like, he will get that all the wishes he wants or she wants. So that's like the most wanted flower, and the people would wait the entire year, just go and find this flower in the mountains. So, and it's a red flower. So this song was written by a Ukrainian composer who actually was killed by KGB because he was very popular in 1970s. But this song is alive, and it's just he was basically the Beatles for Ukraine. It was just a lot of he wrote a lot of beautiful songs that are still popular, and people do the different covers. And this one, even you won't believe, but people who are not Ukrainians, they heard and they sing. So we decided to teach you today the refrain, the chorus for this song. But we will sing, and then we will try to learn the chorus and sing together with us. And I think I said you have a translation in the chat box, so you understand what it is about. It's about love, and then you can read this plot of the song. But the main thing, it's a Chervonu Rutu. Don't look for in the forest, because I have it already. I have my my beloved, but it's very catchy, and it will be easy for you to sing with us. So let's listen, and then you try to follow the refrain. You have the transliteration, and then we will we'll do the singing, the teaching part after that.
Признайся мені, звідки в тебе ті чари, я без тебе всі дні, у полоні печалі, може десь у лісах, ти чарзіля шукала, сонце руту знайшла, і мене щарувала. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдиний, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода, то є чистая вода, то є bystraya вода синіх гір. Бачу я тебе в снах, у дібровах зелених, по забутих стежках, ти приходиш до мене, і не треба нести мені квітку надії, бо давно уже ти увійшла в мої мрії. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода, то є чистая вода, то є bystraya вода синіх гір.
I hope you guys, I saw you really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys had time to read the lyrics. This is beautiful, and you can, it just, the lyrics is so beautiful that show all the beauty of Ukrainian language, because we have many words that you can describe one thing, the love, and that's why people like this song. So now it's time for us to learn. We will do just the refrain together, and we will do the same way, the way that we did the previous times. So I'll sing and you repeat.
Chervonu Rutu,
Chervona Rutu.
не шукай вечорами. Ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода то є чистая вода, то є bystraya voda synih.
Okay, let's sing it together. Дуже голосна сопілка сказала. Let's do together just the refrain, and then we will do this song again, and then you have to sing with us. And thank you so much for all these beautiful messages that you sang to us, and we really appreciate all the support of American people and our neighbors, our friends. And please do, and the war didn't stop, and it's going even in further, and then it's closer to actually everyone's home, because we losing a lot of friends and friends of friends. And every day I'm getting messages about my classmates or classmates of classmates from my alma mater from Kyiv. It's just so heartbreaking. So please don't give up in supporting us, because we need that right now the most. Okay, and then other words missing after tilky.
Твоя врода, то є чистая вода, то є bystraya voda synih.
Okay, yes, there is a one kind of like, it's just adding with music. It's called povir. It's like believe. Tilky ty povir. I will just write it down. It's kind of like a not part of the lyrics. Is sometimes when people say, "Oh yeah," this is like just addition as a tail. It means believe me. Okay, so let's do it together. Thank you so much for pointing out, because when you sing, you don't listen, you don't actually think about this little tail. Okay, so let's do it. No, let's do the first the chorus together. 1, 2. 1, 2, ready, go.
Chervonu Rutu, не шукай вечорами. Ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода то є чистая вода, то є bystraya voda synih.
Okay, now let's sing. So we have two choruses. We have verse and chorus. We will do a small break, and verse and chorus, and we can do chorus one more time after that. And then if you want to listen to the original song, how it's sang, it's a bit on a, basically there's many covers, but also there's different pop versions of it. You can always find it. There are so many different versions online. Let's do it.
Признайся мені, звідки в тебе ті чари, я без тебе всі дні, у полоні печалі, може десь у лісах, ти чар зілля шукала, сонце руту знайшла, і мене щарувала. Chervonu Rutu, не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода то є чистая вода, то є bystraya voda synih. весна, у дібровах зелених, по забутих стежках, ти приходиш до мене, і не треба нести мені квітку надії, бо давно уже ти увійшла в мої мрії. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода, то є чистая вода, то є bystraya voda, synih. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода, то є чистая вода, то є bystraya voda, synih.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed singing. So don't forget, you can sing it and sing it, and then you won't believe you will hum it in the evening after.
And and we will sing it again before we're done today. That's so beautiful. And a few things occurred to me. So you said that the composer of this song was like the Beatles of Ukraine, and he was killed. How old was he? About how old was he when
He
he?
was very young. He was not even 30 years old. So
Yes.
this song, he was written when he was in the musical college. He was 18 or 19, and that this song doesn't even have his copyright, because it becomes so popular. Even I would say, even in Russia, all these singers, they would sing this song. They know it because was just so powerful. That's why, Ukrainians not fighting our neighbor just this 8 years or 4 months. It's been centuries, and everything that would be something like a Ukrainian identify, like with a strong national idea or strong cultural idea. It will be just really by Soviets, by Russians. They always wanted to kind of shut it down because this is how you define yourself, and you have a language, you have beautiful music, and when people sing your songs everywhere, right? Even in Russia, they know that song. So this was the song of hope, and I like that someone posted in the chat, and one will be like the popular singers. They will always include this song in their repertoire, even if this is not their typical song. But if you would, thousands will sing it. So like Beatles songs, right? You go all over the world and people sing it along. So that's the feeling, and then everyone would know it. You can ask and they will hum when they sing the refrain, and that's very. It's not a very unique. He was killed, and also the author of Shadrach of Carol of the Bells, Mykola Leontovich. Also, he had very kind of not known circumstances of his death. He was killed as well. So all these very very popular and very talented musicians and composers, they were prosecuted for not doing the.
There are many. There
Yeah.
are many musicians and composers and poets, writers. This folk instrument, sopilka, Ukrainian, was prohibited. Simple thing like that. Folk instruments were prohibited because it is Ukrainian. So anything Ukrainian was just the Soviet Union, Russians tried to eliminate from the,
But it's
we're
still
still
alive.
keeping the tradition,
So
and that's why
the
we're
thing.
surviving. Because the folk traditions, folk music, there's a deep past that we have.
And it's very hard to eliminate that. So I have a question. So this was a young man who composed this song, and as I'm looking at the words in English, I realize it's translation, but I also see this in a double meaning. I see it as a song for the earth. as if someone is singing about nature and the earth. Do you think that this young composer had this idea, or was he just writing a love song? I'm
No,
just
I
asking.
know. I think he was kind of like this. When there's a one in generation that was a really like this kind of like a treasure. That's why he was killed because I think for his very small life, he produced a lot of songs. He basically uh, uh, wrote all the songs that become now folk songs, and like people don't know he wrote them, but this is like very very popular songs. And there is an American Ukrainian singer who also already passed away. Her name is Kvitka. She was a very popular singer in 80s. She's from the United States, right? Not from
She's
she's from the United States, yeah. From
Ukrainian,
Buffalo, I think.
but she was born here, and she actually did lots of commercials for even
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola commercials.
Beautiful
and,
voice, beautiful
Beautiful
voice.
voice.
And she made her two albums based on his music, and they are with orchestra. This is, I think, the best. Nobody can do better than her did this song. So if you wanna check her out, like there's
We
all,
can maybe spell some of those names in the
Yeah.
chat so people can look them up, including the composer name. And
okay, Kvitka. I think this is Tsisik. It was like this.
Yes, and before you all scurry for your pens and pencils, just copy the chat before the meeting is over so that you can refer back to these things and not have to.
Yeah, and then the composer is Volodymyr Ivasyuk.
I'm sure you'll find a lot in English version. His
And his story,
art, yeah,
his
his
story,
story.
because
there, some of these folk songs, they have hidden words. There's something in between the lines that, it's all about freedom. It's all about the beauty of Ukraine and how um, Russians would in an early stage, they would see a threat in those young composers, musicians, and that's why they basically lost their lives, because in the future they would produce a lot more for Ukraine to support the freedom, and it happened to many writers and composers and singers too.
yeah. So that's, and then what you say about the earth? Yes, because the culture, the traditional culture never was in conflict with the earth. It was always in harmony with earth, right? And like people they had this agriculture, but it was all like I think the civilization brought conflict with the preserving the earth, but this traditional way of living, it's actually glorifying the earth. And that's what happened actually with this, why we chose this song, because this is the part of celebration, but that celebration combines two traditions, because it's a religious holiday for Christians, about John the Baptist, but the second celebration is the pagan celebration, when Ukrainians before Christianity celebrated the solstice, this actually magical holiday. It was like Valentine's Day basically, because this was for the couples when they have a big fire, and this is like how you're cleansing your energy. You jump together over the fire, and then all the bad, it has to be forgotten. And also, if the girls were not married, they would do the beautiful wreaths, and then they push these wreaths along the river, and the person who will the first wreath that comes to, and then the person will catch the wreath, they will get married. So there was a lot of interesting traditions, and it was special. It was basically a youth day, because it was celebration for the youth, because of kind of like it was a love holiday, I would say. Yeah, so that's why this song, it is about that too.
Isn't it interesting, though, that uh, countries around the world through the ages have felt so threatened by the power of art and music, to go against what they are trying to control? That art and music is so powerful.
Very powerful, right?
Yeah. And the rhetorical question of the day is, why isn't this music leading the civilization of this planet? Because when I hear you play and I hear you sing, to me, this is the soul of the earth. coming forth. And why would that not be a guiding light for our civilization instead of all this other bickering?
Exactly. Can you imagine, if you could see the recent pictures, it just the basically the bombs, they are actually burning the wheat. Did you see the recent pictures how we have actually this harvest, and they it all in a fire? Just go on Google
The
and you will
price of
see
bread
it's
is
a
very
and like I understand the like the you can rebuild the buildings but just the the firing the earth, the wheat that actually could feed the the basically it's a second famine, and then I see sometime you said about um, this 20th century is crazy with all this, basically with the loss of lives, different cultures, and it's coming back. It's Can you imagine with all this accessibility to information and all this level of life and medicine and everything, and it's still people do what they did, like I don't know, 1,000 years ago, because like barbarism, and destroying the fields of wheat. It's the biggest thing, the biggest synih, because this is someone's food, so it's incredibly sad, and it just not like even comprehensible, but this is real, this is what happened. And if you see this equipment, because the fields also mined it.
They
And
have
then-
1,000 mines. Russians
and then
installed
there
1,000
is like
mines
farmers
in the
with
fields.
the tractors and equipment, and they just blow in the air. It just, if this is what we see every day, and it just, you trying to kind of like stay calm and not like scream and kind of get crazy about it.
I wish we could talk to you for hours and hours, but before we hear the song again, I'd like to ask what you are doing these days. Last time we spoke, you were doing fundraising concerts for Ukraine. So what is the main thing that's coming up for you that you were doing?
Well, nothing have changed. Like Solomia just said, the war is still going on, although we probably in America we don't see on the news as much as it was. It's not as breaking news. In America we used to breaking news. It's news that it's still going on. So we're not done with the war, and war actually intensified in many many different regions. Um,
But
we still do the same thing. We in fact playing tomorrow at the art gallery in Georgetown at
Washington
5 o'clock.
D.C. because we have a
Washington,
lot of
D.C.
people from all around.
This is fundraising. We are playing Saturday at some place that we every 2 days or so we are performing in different places to try to, we're working with a company. It's a non-profit organization, Help Ukraine,
United
Help Ukraine Foundation. That we basically don't deal with the money, but we play the concert, we support, we gather the people together, and so whatever people can donate, they know how to distribute the money and goods and medical supplies and anything that needs for kids, for civilians, because there are the true we lose a lot of soldiers, but the most important is human civilian lives, kids, women, and elderly people. That's just very very sad that this is the war that it have centuries ago the war wasn't fought that way.
And the headlines change every day in this country, so while it may seem that some have forgotten about the Ukraine when we hear about school shootings in the Supreme Court and
And can you
midterm
imagine about
elections.
school
Going on.
shootings? Like, I also like I have my personal feeling living in America and have my kids now in schools that I sometimes said like you don't need to have a war to actually have your kids never go back home after school, because that's what actually a question in Ukraine now, if it's safe to go back to school in the building. I don't think it's safe because the bombs just like go out of the blue, people just go into the store and they could get killed, just to buy basic food and supply. So it just unbelievable, and that's why I don't think it's safe for Ukrainian children to go back to school. Imagine they already have so much trauma in their heads and their souls, and now they cannot actually go back to really normal school days, and I don't know what the plan is for the, but I don't think it's safe for like getting thousands of kids in one building, because it will be just tragedy, so on every aspect you think it's just unthinkable, because we get used to we're taking it for granted, like having just like kind of everyday problems, and then every time like we have something in our mind, like some kind of little problem, oh my gosh, no, it's not a problem, they have like, this is what problem is, but we can deal with that because it's minor.
Well, let me just say, I know we're running out of time, and I wish we could talk a lot longer. That I hope we don't forget that every day there is war in Ukraine is one more worse day in the world. So may I remember that that is still going on, and the longer it goes, the more intolerance we should have for something like that. And where can we find the action in our lives, not just the thoughts and prayers, to whether it's donating money or doing something in your community locally, where can we find those actions to show our disdain and disgust for these kinds of things, and bring about a change in any small way that we possibly can. So, to that end, please put your website in, or maybe Aiden could put your website in the chat. And if I may, Joe gave me permission to do this. I have an online concert on July 21st, Thursday night, and I'm going to attempt to do as much of this song that you taught us today as I can. And my Ukraine will be very, very bad. But I love this song. I love the melody of it, and it's going to be at the very least, to sing the chorus of this song that night, to remind us of the struggle that goes on, that we must not forget about when the headlines change so much every day. So would you? I'll put a link in the chat there too for that event, and that's the end of that. Would you guys mind doing the song for us one more time so that we can sing out with it?
And then whoever wants to visit the Land Fund Gallery in Georgetown tomorrow, and the event will go from 4 to 8. I believe the art exhibition will be for 1 month, and it will be many paintings from Ukraine that will be an exhibition, and all the proceeds will go to help the families who were harmed by the war. And then that's the second already event. The first event they did in Ukrainian house here in Washington DC, and then there was a family who were badly injured. Basically, 2 kids, they don't have now unfortunately legs. On that Kramatorsk railway station, they just got but thankfully they were able to come to United States for treatment, and all the proceeds from the basically that auction, they went to help this family. So I believe will be the similar event, and people can just visit the gallery anytime they want during this month.
This is just the one scenario that this family got to United States for treatment, for help, but there are hundreds of kids like that, and thousands families are displaced in different locations without homes and everything. All right.
Звідки в тебе ті чари? Я без тебе всі дні у полоні печалі. Може, десь у лісах ти чарзіля шукала, сонце руту знайшла і мене щарувала. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода, то і чистая Бачу я тебе сна у дібровах зелених, по забутих стежках. Ти приходиш до мене, і не треба нести мені квітку надії, бо давно вже ти увійшла в мої мрії. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода, то є чистая вода, то є bystraya voda synih. And one more time. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір, бо твоя врода, то є чистая вода, то є bystraya voda synih.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to see all of you and share a bit of our culture again with you and our songs. And please pray for Ukraine. Please pray for all our people. And I hope this war will finish soon as possible. But with all your protection and basic also this and the energy that's sent to, it's also very important.
Thank you both so much. The work you do is so meaningful, and if I were in your country, I would hope that you would be the elected leaders, of Ukraine.
Well,
So
we are on. Everyone has to do their job. What they are chosen for. So we love what we do, and we basically kind of like a cultural ambassadors to our home country, and we love to do what we do, and we wish we perform for the different circumstances just as we usually did before. But this is what the reality is, and we have to do our front lines with our
as they say, live, be the change that you want to see in the world. I think that's attributed to Gandhi. So we want to thank you, and I want to thank you all for spending just a few extra minutes with us today. It feels very important. I'll see some of you at 7:30 Eastern Time on the 21st, and I'll do my best with this beautiful song and a bunch of others. And it's time to say goodbye. Thanks to
Thank you. Дякую.
Дякуємо.
Papa.
yes, thank you so much to Solomia and Andrei, and thank you to Arlene. Wonderful to see you again today. Annette, thank you for staying with us, and Deborah in Kentucky. Susan, goodbye. See you tomorrow. Sleepy Kevin, I think we're pretty woke by now, aren't we, my friend? Carolyn in Boise, and Gary, Kate, Kathleen, Bob and Mabel together again. Dan Walker in Vienna, thank you, Dan, for the nice comments. Bonnie in Boise, Ruth in Birmingham, farewell, and take that phrase to heart, farewell.